Mindset determines all. This is not some cliché belief without evidence, but a spiritual truth. What do I mean by spiritual? Is it necessary to appeal to faith or subjective emotionalism to understand that we are creatures of spirit? Not to the ancient Greeks. According to Aristotle, humankind is a rational animal. This means we possess all the characteristics of lower-order animals, like plants and beasts, but have a distinct human nature that allows us to think and abstract. While our bodies need nutrition and light like plants, and have instincts and bodies designed for movement in the real world like animals, it is our reason that we find the essence of our human souls. The will is our innate capacity to choose. A lion, if left alone with prey, will most of the time eat the prey. You would not leave your children in the company of a lion, nor would you stay in a lion pride, even though the lion has already eaten. But our capacity to choose is more refined than that of the animals. We are driven in no small part by instinct, but it is man's intellect that ultimately influences his decisions. We would not eliminate a child or an innocent animal simply because we can, because we have the will to choose, as well as an intellect that can determine that a certain action is wrong or that it is an act we simply do not wish to do. The Greeks believed that since our intellect is capable of grasping eternal truths about the universe, truths that require no human consensus to exist, for example, the nature of mathematics, geometry, or even using our minds to determine that we have a mind, that part of the operations of the intellect exist outside of space-time. This is what I mean by spiritual. We are finite, existing in space-time, doomed to die. But the operations of the intellect and our capacity to choose through our will are what allow us to commune with universal, eternal truths. There is tremendous power in this realization. Everything you are using and seeing right now was an act of the will and the intellect. The great skyscrapers and buildings, the advancement of science in fields so complex and wonderful that they improve the common good, impactful literature and art, all came from the spiritual components of applied intellect and will. Therefore, what makes us human and gives us what the Greeks called a soul is our intellect and will, molded into the essence of humanity through matter, which exists in the vast history of the cosmos. By understanding our spiritual nature, we understand that this rational aspect of humanity is capable of willing things into existence. A human soul, thus, is that which contains all the physical properties of a human being, as well as a functional intellect and will. We can deduce that our essence as humans isn't tied solely to this eternal world of universal truths, nor is it completely animalistic in terms of being just another creature in the cosmos. We can then understand that it is part of our nature to will things and to use our intellect to find truths about the world and apply them for our own purposes. Mindset, thus, is a choice, and it is a real and powerful thing. If you think you are not a spiritual being with the power to enforce an almost sacred will, then consider the following. Every scientific study conducted today takes the placebo effect into consideration. The placebo effect is the body's power to stimulate the effects of a supposed drug, even if what was taken was nothing. How overlooked this simple truth is. Imagine being given a hair growth solution or an anabolic steroid, both of which promise to make you stronger or regrow your hair. You take it, and a few days pass and you begin noticing increased muscular density, as well as longer, thicker hair. Amazing! The drug works! Then you read the scientific paper and realize you were given a fake pill with absolutely no effects. How do we account for this change in the body? How is it that a human being with no exceptional intellect, knowledge of occult practices, or appeals to the supernatural can achieve this? This is not an exaggeration. It is absolutely true, and not even the most hardened scientific materialist can give a definitive answer on the nature of the mind's power in terms of the placebo effect. Another fascinating piece of evidence for the power of mindset comes from epigenetics. It has been scientifically proven that children can inherit past traumas and fears from their parents. It is also noted that a parent's diet, exercise, and response to different stimuli can influence how their progeny develops. A diet high in protein and other nutrient-dense foods can make children taller, stronger, and even smarter than their parents. It follows that if trauma, external events that affect us as perceived by the mind, can be hereditary, what if we programmed our minds to react differently, to be more resilient, courageous, and focused on deeper and better things? Wouldn't this mean that we can pass on, purely through the fruits of our own living and beliefs, better genes, intellectual understanding, and a more powerful will to our offspring? And that these changes can come about purely by focusing our spiritual aspects, our intellect and will, on creating, building, and achieving great things? Thus, mindset is all. There is nothing that can bend a mindset focused on greater and better things. Strength, courage, resilience, temperance, and resolve can all be cultivated to improve your life and the lives of those around you. Nutritious foods high in micronutrients and proteins can quite literally improve your genetic code. This spiritual power is innate to your essence as a human being. Do not dull it or, worse, become complacent with a scarcity mindset, bred from fear and the mediocrity of others. Your human soul is in your keeping alone, and the thumotic passion of the sacred energy within the hero is what drives him to great deeds. Embrace this holy mission, and elevate your spirit with a heroic mindset.
Fearless we breathe, with silent whispers through the ancient trees, where legends grow, we live in hope.